Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, we're still very much in Street Fighter 6 hype mode here on the channel, so I decided to make another video, and this time we're talking about the plot and story of Street Fighter 6, as there's more to be known than you might think there is, and actually Capcom on the official site has been very helpful in posting some tidbits that actually moves the plot forward in some very significant ways. So first, what we'll do here is talk about some of the character-specific notes about how the story is moving forward, and then we'll talk about the grand overall plot, what we've known from other things, and what we can speculate going forward. So how about Ryu, the poster boy of the franchise? He's actually undergone the most significant change since like Street Fighter Alpha, and no, I'm not talking about the new look. So what is it? Well, it's official. Evil Ryu is dead, gone, not a concern. No more Evil Ryu, no more Kage, no more none of that nonsense. Ryu has moved on. Straight from the official site, Ryu has overcome the Satsui no Hado. He is done with it. Now, someone call Akuma, make sure he's okay, right? Because he's not going to take this news too well. But Ryu and the Evil Ryu dynamic is finally, after all these decades, done with. He is moving forward with the power of nothing as was first explored in Street Fighter 4, and you can see it as his moveset evolves. Like, he doesn't just do the Shin Shoryuken as his big super, although it is the Shin Shoryuken, but it's a Denjin Shin Shoryuken. So he's basically combining and like multiplying his power set. Ryu is moving forward and getting much stronger as a person and a martial artist. And honestly, I couldn't be happier for it. Ryu's been stuck in time for such a long time. I'm happy to see he finally gets to move on. Now, Chun-Li. Chun-Li has officially moved on to the master/mentor role. She is no longer a police officer. She no longer works for Interpol. The official website says Shadaloo is sundered, and we'll get into that. And she now runs Kung Fu classes and is a well-loved member of the community. Basically, her third strike ending has come to pass. She now takes care of a bunch of orphans and teaches them martial arts. I'm sure there'll be some event that forces Chun-Li to fight, right? But just like Ryu, she's kind of moved on. Now, also on the leak list, we do have Ken, and obviously Ken has a new and surprising look. And going by the scuttlebutt, it is apparent that Ken, in his journey to try to, keep pace with Ryu, has frustrated his wife so much that she left him and took the kid. And that is why Ken is currently down in the dumps. Other things like, I won't post it here because it is game footage, but there is a leaked Ken model, right? And his roots are showing, like he just doesn't give a crap anymore. And he's like letting his roots show, not dyeing his hair anymore because he's not a natural blonde, FYI. So all we know is Ken's down in the dumps and Ryu let go of the Satsui no Hado, right? So perhaps in Ken's future, the only way to get his mojo back is to take on the Satsui no Hado and let Violent Ken finally become a canon character. As for Jamie and Luke, so Jamie is officially linked to Yun and Yang, which is fair enough. He's doing the whole martial arts things while wearing sneakers, right? So that's kind of a dead giveaway. And while not explicitly stated, I do feel like he is maybe at least trained in part by Gen, because he does have some like assassination art stuff. And Luke. So Luke is officially a PMC contractor, which is really gross. Like, we knew he was like military related some way somehow before, but yeah, just PMC's, you could have just said the US Army. No one would have blinked an eye at that. But yeah, so besides that, he's also a gamer. And also, according to the official website, he is a PC gamer, so no consoles for him. Also, Luke's a bit of a baby and doesn't like the horror games. Alright, so that's some of the character-specific notes we know, but now let's go into the greater and grander overall plot. We do know this at first here. Street Fighter 6 is now the new current latest point in the timeline. The characters have obviously aged up here a couple years. We don't know how long, but you would assume a few years have gone by since the events of Street Fighter 5. Now, before this, Street Fighter 3 was the old endpoint, except in a recent interview, we learned that parts of Street Fighter 5 take place after Street Fighter 3. I know this sounds complex, I'm sorry. But yeah, so the timeline's a big mess, but basically, Street Fighter 6 is now the new endpoint. It is now the furthest along in the timeline. So what do we know leading up to the events of Street Fighter 6? We do know that Shadaloo is officially shattered now. They say as much in Chun-Li's bio on the official site. No, there's no Shadaloo characters in this game, right? That we know of from the leak list. There's no Bison, no Fang, no Vega, no Balrog. Like, all the Shadaloo characters are gone. Neo Shadaloo persists, however, because Ed is in the game. Now, on that note, is Bison gone? Well, yes, but no. So Bison persists on through Neo Shadaloo. Says who? Well, says Takayuki Nakayama. He's the lead designer of Street Fighter 6 and the director of the entire Street Fighter franchise at Capcom, so he knows a thing or two about a thing or two. So basically, all the people in Neo Shadaloo have a part of Bison's essence inside of them. So Bison's physical form is destroyed, but I guess you could say his soul lives on through the rest of them through their various powers. And yes, the gorilla houses M. Bison's wisdom. Also, I just want to quickly use this note on the video to advocate for the Shadaloo Gorilla to officially be DLC for Street Fighter 6. The group is opposed to Shadaloo, and then none of them like Bison. They're all basically Bison's escaped like scientific tests, right? But Bison still lives on through these characters. Nakayama also stated that maybe Bison knew one day he was going to lose, and basically all these people and splitting his power between them was his backup plan. So that's the Shadaloo end of things. What about the Illuminati, Gil's Illuminati from Street Fighter 3? Well, it looks like they're going as strong as ever. Perhaps seemingly evolved from secret society to self-help group, but in the advertisements plain as day, that is definitely Gil's Illuminati. As mentioned in a previous video here, that's even the same image from Gil's speech to Yun in Yun's ending in Third Strike. So like, whatever that is, it's definitely Illuminati related. This all takes place after Street Fighter 3. You assume Gil's defeated, but the Illuminati lives on some way, somehow. And now the biggest thing about Street Fighter 6, made very clear through Oro, Rose, and G, the world is heading towards absolute destruction. Now, we don't know the source, they don't quite know the source. All they know is something's up. What is stated multiple times is they thought once Bison was defeated, that'd basically be the end of things, right? And they specifically call out that psycho power is a true danger to, well, everything. But if Bison is defeated and the world's still heading towards disaster, then what exactly is going on? Rose seems to think that the answer lies in the past. Oro has a different take, though, that the coming darkness can be defeated by someone basically who is pure of heart, pure of soul, someone who wants strength, but not to dominate and destroy, but just to better oneself. And, well, you know, we all know who that sounds like, right? But there's a couple things to talk about here. Oro states, you know, what if the real threat doesn't have a physical form? You know, Bison is destroyed, but as we gone over with Neo Shadaloo, even if he's physically destroyed, he's still a threat and still lives on through Neo Shadaloo in a way. Dalsum says it, after his death, his dark ambition is still corrupting the world. Even after Bison's death, the world is still moving towards destruction, and now here's the kicker. That, my dear friend, is the true nature of psycho power. The thing is, Bison's gone, yes, but psycho power isn't. So we're going into the leaks here, I'm sorry, but it has to be brought up here. JP. So there was another leak months ago that actually called the leak that we now know, and they brought up JP and his look and everything, and JP is a psycho power user. Now the thing is, there shouldn't be another psycho power user. There was the original master who taught Rose and Bison's psycho power is a corruption of soul power. Everyone else who has psycho power, like Ed Falk, like comes directly from Bison. So with that in mind, then the only person JP could really be is the original master of soul power, and then also psycho power as its derivative. So Bison's essence, soul, whatever you want to call it, is still running amok and still causing problems here. And now out of the shadow comes a second psycho power user. So, you know, the dark times that are coming are going to be very interesting to say the least. JP is a strong candidate for the boss of Street Fighter 6. And past that, we don't know much. Will there be a tournament this time around? There was no actual Street Fighter tournament in Street Fighter 5, which was very disappointing. So I would like to see a martial arts tournament. But there's just a lot of mystery. The timeline has moved forward. The classic characters are evolving, and I'm sure they all have a role to play. That is how it'll always be, and that's the way it should be, right? But there's still just a lot of mystery, and we're still a whiles away from release. Things will be detailed over time, I'm sure. but just the future of Street Fighter through Street Fighter 6 is very exciting. And if you're like me, you like the lore, the plot on top of, just playing the game and fighting people, it's a grand time. Things are very, very interesting. I'm just really excited to see where things are gonna go, because the always handicap of we're always stuck behind Street Fighter 3, that's long dead, right? Street Fighter is free to move forward, and that's one of the best things for the franchise, on top of all the great changes, mechanical design, redesigns for the character. Like, everything's fantastic, and the story is just one aspect of it, and well, that's the focus of the video. That all said, we're approaching the end of the video here, so if you have any ideas of your own, both what I've said in the video here, if you got any comments on that, or if you got any speculation on how the future is going to go, I would love to hear it, and please post it in the comments below. And otherwise, well, now we are at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching, hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.